We have gathered here today to discuss none other than the Aladino Sumatra, which is the cigar of the month for all of you members here at Klaro for the month of April 2024. I took the time to fire one of these cigars up the other day and enjoyed it immensely. It was a wonderful cigar. But what was not wonderful was the weather. With the bilious, belligerent attitude of a drunk uncle at a family get-together, this was one hell of an awful day to smoke a cigar. No sooner had I fired this stick up and suddenly the sun went away, the clouds rolled in, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust whipped up. Pollen flying everywhere, sand, microphone was completely shot. Forget hearing a damn word I say without it being all sorts of messed up. It was just a hot mess. Not being one to give in though, I decided to do things the old-fashioned way and jot down a few notes in my cigar journal and also get some photos along the way of the cigar to document how it performed, how it looks, so that I can pass on the info to y'all. That said, there more than likely will be a full-blown video review down the line when the weather permits, or from inside my cigar studio when it's complete. So stay tuned for that. But for now, let's take a look at what I've got and talk a little bit about this blend, because it really was fantastic. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Aladino brand, note that that is a J.R.E. production. J.R.E. stands for Julio R. Eiroa, the father who was, expelled from Cuba back in the 60s, ended up setting up shop in Honduras and is more of a farmer than anything. But over the years, with the help of his son Justo Eiroa, started a cigar manufacturing company and wasn't just confined to growing tobacco. Now, speaking of tobacco, this cigar has a Sumatran wrapper on it that is not grown in Indonesia, nor is it grown in Ecuador like most Sumatran wrappers, but is actually grown on the J.R.E. farm down in Honduras. This is about as rare as it gets in that regard, and I can't really think off the top of my head any other Sumatran grown in Honduras. The binder and filler combo are also J.R.E. farmed products from Honduras, so it's their crop from start to finish. And apparently the wrapper in particular was something that they started growing back in 2016. However, the blend wasn't deemed ready for release until the autumn of 2023 when we picked it up and silently sat on, because when it was released, we spoke to the guys over at Aladino and they said, oh, it's really good, but it's still a little bit strong. You might want to sit on it for a while. Now, as for the cigar itself, it's your typical Toro Pareo, so 6 inches long, 52 ring gauge, and very nice. It's got these kind of creamy colored vanilla veins on it that are notable but are kind of smooth to the touch. It feels really nice in the hand and has a little bit of oil to it, but not too much. As for aromatics, it is very much Sumatran though, but with a nice Honduran undertone of soil and earth. You're going to probably find all sorts of cedar and nice milky spice notes and very clean soil. Nothing really dank or funky, but just a nice light soil note. The foot, though, is very traditional Sumatran smelling, and it's robust and rich and chai tea-like, a little bit of black tea, a little extra thrown in just for good measure, as well as a sweet molasses smell that translates to cold pulls and the cigar flavor profile itself. Now, as for the smoking experience itself, this stick delivered, at least in flavor and aromatics. It's very much a medium to medium full-bodied cigar with medium amounts of strength. So I'm glad that we waited to really promote this cigar, because apparently when it was fresh in the fall, a lot of people found it to be a considerably stronger stick. Where the cigar opened up with more of a black pepper spice intensity and some really rich earthy tones, it developed more of that traditional Sumatran chai tea and exotic spice-like flavor, and then delved into a date nut bread-like taste. candied dates and almonds and just a milky, creamy cashew note. All were very much at the forefront of this blend throughout its duration. Cigar flavor profiles changed a little bit at the halfway mark and into the final third especially, where it picked up more of a grittier, darker, heavier earthen tone. A very worthy cigar for our COTM members here at Klaro, and one that I hope that they start box pressing and putting into figurado form like they do with the Corojo Reserve and other cigars in their portfolio, because those sticks in particular I find to be quite attractive and burn very well at that. So until the next review, or I attempt to take on the next review and pray that the weather behaves, thanks for tuning in and being a part of our Klaro membership, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.